He's taking treatments. Yeah.
The
He's got like
the board review on
mistakes
one
every
with the chickens.
3 weeks. He does.
I printed everything, so let me see if I do.
Okay.
Probably
I did not.
living next door to see.
Yeah, probably. I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Is Greg not going to be here?
Probably.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not gonna be.
I don't agree with that. I don't, myself personally. But I'm only one of four.
Did you just have a birthday or
You
something?
read this?
Or an anniversary.
Anniversary. Yeah, my wife and I
Yeah.
had a 40th.
What have we doing before?
Went down to Georgia.
We never had a third.
No, I know that.
I like Georgia's.
We limited it to.
Used to go there all the time.
And
Okay.
Roosters.
Go to all
Right.
this wine
In this
dinners
case,
and
from what
everything.
I understand, the
And,
Roosters too.
I haven't been to
Never
this
done
other
30.
place, that cafe or grill
Yeah.
or whatever it is. Have you
Yeah,
been there?
yeah, no. Chris's ex-girlfriend's one he had.
So,
the
I don't
meatloaf.
So it says no
Yeah,
roosters.
She worked
Right.
there.
I don't know
She
if you
does,
wanted
works
to
there very,
or
not that
four
much
or
anymore,
five.
because she's
Yeah.
been doing real well selling real estate.
I tell you, my wife really likes this.
Sarah,
I'm sure that's.
Sarah.
what
Sarah's
I
a
was
nice
for.
girl.
She just really likes it.
Absolutely.
Abby,
She's here and walking
I'm
the neighborhood.
sure they're not here for you.
No.
Ready to roll?
Abby.
Yep, we're live, gents.
Other gal.
I'm going to call to order the Tuesday, October 17, 2023 Planning Commission. Would you take the roll, please?
Mayor Safarian,
Here.
Mr. Olive,
Here.
Mr. Vrieslar,
Absent.
Mr. Orvitz,
Here.
Chairman Winkowski.
Here, thank you. For those of you who are not aware, because we only have 4 tonight, in order for any matter to pass from this board, it requires an affirmative vote of 3. If we get to a point where you are not going to receive the 3 votes, we will certainly let you know, and you will have the option as to whether or not you want to return a month from now in order to have a full panel. But we only have 4 tonight, but you'll still need to get 3 votes in favor of that. We'll let you know as we go where that stands. If I can have a motion to approve the August 15th, 2023 regular meeting minutes.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, the motion carries. The minutes of the August 15th, 2023 regular meeting are hereby approved. The first matter before us is, I'm going to introduce all 3 of those. ST 1562-23, which is a split transfer for a variance on width to depth ratio in an R2 medium density residential zone district on the property described as parcel number 44,441,9554. The location is 3642 Star Avenue. The second one is ST 1563-23, split transfer for a variance on width to depth ratio in an R2 medium density residential zone district on the property described as parcel number 44-4419554. That location is 3642 Star Avenue. In ST 1564-23, split transfer for a variance on width to depth ratio in an R2 medium density residential zone district on the property described as parcel number 44-4419554. That location is 3642 Star Avenue. The applicant owner of all 3 parcels is Stephanie Stasha. Mr. Schrake, if you would introduce the topic and explain to us what we're doing today.
Sure. So I'm just going to give an analysis of all 3. This is one of the deeper lots
Makes all sense.
in the area. And what the proposal is the southern end of the lot would be sold to the adjacent property. And that would involve a split transfer and then combination with the buyer of the remaining lot. Our only concern would be that these are processed in a very specific way from south to north so as not to create any landlocked properties in the process of doing the splits and combinations. These properties will result in a variance that would require to the width and depth ratio to the new combined lots of the parcels to the right in the picture.
So the Lackawanna Avenue properties are the three that are going to be buying these three parcels.
Correct. That is what has
And
been,
then attaching them to their properties.
correct.
Ms. Stasha, if you would come up and introduce yourself, name, address, and if there's any additional info you can give, we may have questions.
Okay. My name is Stephanie Stasa. I live at 3642 Star Avenue. I purchased the property back in May, and I was approached by the neighbors. They were interested in just extending their backyard. I believe they have like young kids, and the space is always good. Much beyond that, I don't have a ton of information as to like what they plan to do other than just run around. It is a huge lot, so there's not a whole lot of they can do width-wise with it, so it's kind of awkward size-wise in that way.
Mr. Schramm, I assume that that parcel, her original parcel, is under some sort of variance because of width to depth?
It would be a pre-existing non-conforming lot.
I don't have any questions. Do you gentlemen have any questions?
Not at this time.
It's okay
Thank
not
you.
to.
I
It's
Thank you.
okay not to.
No, I don't.
Pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
I have a motion ready.
Okay, well, I'm just going to ask for the floor to see if there's anybody else that wants to comment. Is there anyone else that wants to comment?
I am just wondering about how it will be determined, if there will be any building restrictions on those properties.
Mr. Chairman,
Mayor?
and I think I can answer that accurately. It would conform, the current building code would just extend just any rights they would normally have on that property too.
Okay,
So
so whatever's on the current properties would extend to the back of the-
absolutely.
Okay, okay. And then there's an egress and a swale at the back of the properties
Mhm.
currently.
I know where it's at.
And would those be able to build like a driveway across that? Would that be allowed or no?
No.
Okay. And also my understanding, I'm not sure how this got laid out, but we're at 3700 Lily, my
All right.
husband and I, and we were supposed to be part of that end lot too. So I'm not sure how it got into only 3 pieces, but so I'm not sure if that's going to make a difference with the voting.
Say that again?
That the large area at the bottom,
All right.
in discussions, we were supposed to be a part of that too. So I'm not sure how that got to be only 3 instead of 4 lots, the division.
That would have to be up to the seller and the proposed buyers.
Okay.
That wouldn't be anything with
Okay,
us.
well, I just saw the dividing lines, and so I was like thinking that if you guys vote on that, those are the lines that it would have to be, and
That is correct.
Okay. But that can also be sold off. Would it have to come to another variance meeting to do that?
It would.
It would.
Because then your lot would be non-conforming, or you'd be asking for a variance by adding this to it, by adding property to yours.
Because we're on a different road.
Were you in legal agreement to purchase part of that that parcel?
No, none of us are in legal agreement. We just brought it here to,
Okay.
That's something you'd have to take up with the owner of the
Okay.
property and,
okay.
if you come to arrangement.
All right.
You
I
may
wasn't
end
sure
up
how
back
that, how
here.
that got to be 3
Yeah.
lots instead of 4, so. Okay,
'Cause I'm guessing that those people did come to agreement with the property owner.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak? Now's your chance. Hi there.
My name's Lucetta Blair. I am at the 556 Lackawanna. And I would just like to comment that we're excited to be able to upkeep on that property. It does get a little wild back there. So a lot of rodents and things are, making their ways back there. So I would just like to comment that my husband and I are, very excited to be able to keep up on that property.
Great.
I did have a
Thank you.
question, ma'am.
Yes.
I did have a question for you.
Yes.
Are you in agreement with the comment that was made earlier that I'm going to have to assume fencing or anything of that nature is going to be done from the south going to the north so the parcel in between can still access?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I quite understand.
Are you proposing to put a fence all the way across this parcel then?
So right now, there's a fence dividing the 2 properties, so I'm assuming that that would be out, and then it would just be yes. So it would be enclosed. We would add, does that make sense? We would
Yeah.
add where 548 and 543 are, and then keep it enclosed. If I'm explaining that correctly?
Right, I just didn't know if there was gonna be a fence in between, just north of your.
No, so the fence that's there now, we would take that down.
Okay. Just in case, like I said, the other 2 parcels wanted to get access to theirs for whatever reason, as was stated in the beginning, that,
I'm not sure if I'm,
No, that's not what they meant about making
going from the
land
south to
locker.
the north.
They would be permitted to put a fence up.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, no, absolutely. It's just that,
Well, let me clarify. It seems there
Please.
might be some confusion. All we are recommending with no objection is that the split and combination of the most southern lot happens first. Then you move to the next pair of lots to the north, and that split and combination occurs. Then the last one, the most northern 2 lots would split and then combine. So as you are moving from south to north without, say, selling off the middle one and creating a condition where there is a landlocked owner from the Star owner would own the most
Right,
southern
that's what I'm
lot
saying, don't
and
do that.
then could not gain access
Right.
because of the other people have already purchased it. So we're saying move from south to north.
okay, thank you for that clarification.
thank
Sure.
you.
Even though that process is a matter of a 30-second difference,
Yeah.
we still have to do it in that order.
Understand that. I just was making it clear that,
Right.
that the fence wasn't
No,
landlocked.
the
No,
fence-
no, no,
The fence
no,
had
right.
nothing to do with it.
Right. So our order is 62, 63, and 64.
Yeah.
We need to take them separately in order to accomplish what zoning is requesting. So is there anyone else that would like to speak? This is it.
My name's Robert Tove. We live at 543 Georgetown. So just to clarify on the restrictions or building codes, so existing codes would cover this as far as what could be put on the property or not put on the property?
Precisely whatever building codes are applicable to the existing property would just extend onto that property.
Okay, so it's the property on the Lackawanna, those, that.
I can clarify that.
Yes.
So once these properties are combined with the respective buyers, that new extension of the property would become their rear property. It would be an extension of their rear property. You can only still have one primary structure per property. So now that they're combined, they can't put another house in the rear because they already now have a primary one that they're living in now. So it just becomes more rear property. They could put in accessory structures like sheds and pools and other things, but they cannot put another domicile, another house.
Thank you.
Three, two, one, going. Gone. Mayor.
I would move for passage of each of these. Now, you said you couldn't, you would have to take them in
I think
order.
we need to do it one at a time.
All right, well then, which one did you want?
62's first.
All right, let's go for passage of ST 1562 of 23.
I'll second that.
Roll, please.
Mayor Sphirion?
Yes.
Mr. Olive?
Yes.
Mr. Orvitz?
Yes.
Chairman Winkowski?
Yes.
I'd also move for passage of ST 1563 of 23.
I'll second.
One second. With all the recommendations from the building department?
Was there ones on there?
There was.
Yeah.
Well, let's back up and add that to.
Yeah, we have to add that to all of them.
Yeah, to,
Well, I will read in the recommendation of the advisory committee. The building and zoning department has no objections to the request as submitted on the condition of the split and combination be the first transaction completed before splits 63 and 64. So
well, we were doing that anyway.
that's what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah, we're doing it.
So we're following their recommendation. So there is a first and second on 63.
Okay.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Sphirion?
Yes.
Mr. Orvitz?
Yes.
Mr. Olive?
Yes.
Chairman Winkowski?
Yes. Mayor, one more.
And I would also move for passage, abiding by this, the request of the Architectural Design Committee for 1564 of 23.
I'll second.
Mayor Sphirion?
Yes.
Mr. Orvitz?
Yes.
Mr. Olive?
Yes.
Chairman Winkowski?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was quick and sweet. Not all of them are like that.
Okay.
All right. Matter number 2 before us is special use in an R2 medium density residential district for the purpose of housing 30 Bantam, BANTAM chickens on the properties described as parcels number 44-73431 and 44-73427. The applicant owner is Amparo Piscina Collins. The location is 2618 Bleecker Street. It is identified as SUE 180-23. Mr. Schrake.
The Building and Zoning Department has no objections to the request as submitted on the condition that the number of chickens be reduced to 6 after 4 years. Further conditions would be as follows. Number 1, coops or cages housing chickens shall be kept at least 25 feet from the door or window of any dwelling or occupied structure other than the owner's dwelling. Coops and cages shall not be located within 5 feet of a side yard lot line nor within 18 inches of a rear yard lot line. 2, the coop and outdoor enclosures must be kept in a sanitary condition and free from offensive odors. The coop and outdoor enclosure must be cleaned on a regular basis to prevent accumulation of waste. 3, there shall be no outdoor slaughtering in the line of vision of any neighboring properties. And 4, no roosters are allowed. These conditions also mimic those that have been recently passed for the city of Toledo.
I know that we've passed at least 2 of these. And I'm at a loss for the number that we did.
Six.
The number was 6
Yes,
for both of
Number
those.
was 6.
we did way more than 2. 2 in the last
2 in
year
the
or
last
so.
short number
Yeah,
of
yeah.
years.
And we are close to adopting an ordinance to provide for this, so we won't have to come to they won't have to come to this. And most of those conditions were what Mr. Schrake had alluded to in bringing this up. So hopefully within the next couple months, we will adopt that. And then we'll only see exceptions to the 6 rules coming before our body. And with some of the language that Toledo has experienced and learning things from the past practice of what we've allowed, I think give us a better idea of what we would want to put out there for anybody to just partake in.
Is it currently in operation that we're asking for 30 and we're saying 6 and 4 years?
No, we've never done that.
No, the specific property.
The current condition is
Currently
30.
chickens.
Yeah.
This was based on a result of a complaint filed due to noise and the number of chickens housed in an R2 district.
Okay,
And so the recommendation was, rather than immediately eliminate 24 chickens, they would just not be able to, as they die off, replenish them until they get to the level of 6.
okay.
Roosters would not be allowed at all.
No matter what.
If there are any roosters now, those would have to be removed.
You're up, ma'am.
So I brought.
Identify yourself, please, and the mic, because they are recording and it's going on the internet.
Okay, so my name is Amparo Piscina Collins. I have been a resident of this address for 35 years. I brought in the paperwork that shows I own 2 lots.
Thank you.
Yes. That's okay, no, it's okay. So I own the 485 and 486. I wasn't living there because I had just got a divorce. So when the guy came to tell me about the complaints, I still had the U-Haul in the driveway. It was never my intention to say I'm moving back to Oregon with all my chickens and my dogs and my grandbabies. So I do have roosters. I do have housing. I have a shed for them. They're right in the middle of where the 2-car garages and the house. So in between there is where I have them. So we change their bedding every day. I do have roosters. They're all exotic birds. They're not like the kind of chickens you just want to cut off their head and eat them. Sorry, I'm getting overwhelmed. They don't smell. They get taken care of, and they're my babies. And I'm selling the house through the divorce. I'm selling to my husband. He's going to buy me out, but everything's tied in. And so all the money is where it's at until everything gets sold. And right now we're working on that through the lawyers. So it was not my intention just to bring the birds, guys, and just plot them there. It was not, but we didn't have a choice. So I need 6 months and I can get the birds off the property, but I can't see myself killing the chickens.
Mr. Horvitz?
Just a couple of questions if you could. So you've had the property for 30-some years, but you haven't lived in it until recently?
My mom lives there and my
Okay.
sister, 'cause my mom's old, so my sister takes care of her. I was
Okay.
taking care of her before,
I understand. So you just recently moved into the property,
back into the
correct?
house, yes,
And when you moved in, you brought your chickens with you then?
yes.
Okay. And now your portion of the house is gonna be sold to your husband,
That's
correct?
my ex-husband.
Your ex-husband, thank you. And then at that point in time, what's gonna happen with the chickens?
They're coming with me.
They're going with
I'm
you?
already looking at the properties. Yeah, I'm looking at, 51 and out in the country. So it's not intention to live in the city limits. That was never my intention. But
Okay.
It's the position I've been put in, so I have no choice.
I understand. I just want clarification on the timeline there and how what the near future was holding for this situation.
Everything's processing it right now in the courts for the monies to be transferred over to me. And it's literally at the courts right now. So I've been looking at properties that contact the real estate agent to look at the property. So this is temporarily, it's going to be within the next 6 months. So, and then,
So you've already gone to court for
yeah,
the
everything.
divorce decree
Yes,
and
yes.
everything's been agreed upon. It's
Yes.
just now you're going through the final stages of
yes,
that.
yes,
So the timeline is rather short then?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and my neighbors are here. I don't know if they're going to complain or they can say, yay, but they are here. They can tell you, in truth, their end of the, how they see it. Because the way I see it or perceive it doesn't mean my neighbors perceive it the same way.
Right.
So I think it's only fair, so.
Okay, thank you.
Well, excuse me,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman. How long have you been back now?
Mr. Rolfe?
I'm sorry?
How long have you been back now?
Since the divorce was May 1st, so it's been towards midsummer.
The chickens have been back since midsummer.
Yes.
Okay.
We've been there for about 3 months, 4 months.
Were you aware of the city's ordinances on chickens?
No, I didn't even, honestly, I didn't even know that. I just barely had my property line sized, just stuff like that. I didn't do that. I don't even know how to do insurance paperwork. That was my husband's job. So I didn't know I had to get on some kind of zoning thing or a permit thing. I think he may have showed up that one day and told me, and it was just, I don't know. I've never had to live in a city limits with chickens. That's not what I was, so.
Thank you.
You do understand, though, that if this passes, the roosters will have to, the situation of the rooster will have to be taken care of very, I'm not gonna say immediately, but
Yes,
in very short time.
yes.
Well, that's a question I have, Mr. Strake. What is the time period for compliance if we pass this? Obviously, the out of compliance would still be the roosters. What is the customary normal plan here?
Well, that would be up to this board to decide. What we're hearing from the applicant is that 6 months would be the maximum. If you want to afford her that, just understand that this was based on complaints. So I'm not sure if the complaints were the chickens or the roosters or the combination of both. But typically roosters are not permitted within city limits because of the noise and disturbance to the other neighbors. Since she does have some folks present, maybe they can speak to that. But it would be up to this board to decide or impose any timeframes if you so choose.
And then Mayor and our city administrator, maybe you can enlighten both me and the audience. Is it an SUE that runs with the owner, not with the land?
No, it
Or
always runs
can
with the
we,
land.
or can we put a temporary, can we do a temporary SUE so that when she moves out, new homeowner doesn't have
Or you just put a
this?
time limit on it and just let it sunset.
Yeah, I would recommend that versus versus putting that stipulation on it, just put a time frame
Okay.
that we give it a time frame.
You can
And
even give a little
traditionally-
grace period, not 6 months, you could do sorry, didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt, but you know, you could do a year instead, just in case there's a grace period, and then, you know, however you want to do it.
Because I get
You can put
confused
a
on
clock-
what
you-
runs with the land and what runs with the owner, because some things expire when the owner doesn't, with the owner, right? When it changes hands.
It does not.
Some
Traditionally, it
things
does
do.
not.
Some things do, not
No-
this.
None of the SUVs or none of the,
Okay.
those permits, it goes with.
Mr. Chairman, what we've done in the past, I know with the pig and a few of the other chickens, we put a stipulation, come back in a year and
Yeah.
reevaluate it. So I
This will
think
be
that
expired by then.
if we go to 6 months,
Yeah, it'll just not be non-existent. There'll be a term. If we put a term on it, it would just expire at that time.
Let's listen to them.
Okay. Thank you. I think, yeah, we're going to ask
Yep.
for other
Yeah.
people if they have comments. Anyone have a comment regarding this matter?
Hello, so my name is Megan Goings. This is my husband, Anthony Goings. We actually live right next to her. We live at 2622. She did come to us about when it first started. We had no problems. But yeah, the biggest is the rooster. I mean, it's very noisy. Our table is like right there by their fence, and it's loud. Like we can't even have our family or friends over and enjoy. They do keep up with it. I mean, I don't have no complaints of like smelling, anything like that. But I feel like 30 is way too many. I mean, we're in a residential area. I mean, our houses are too close. And I know she keeps saying she's moving to the country. So we're just like, okay, like, you know, just going with the flow. But I think it's getting over. You know, I mean, we're just too close for that. And I know she's going through a lot. You know, we don't want no problems. I don't know who made the complaints, but I mean, we don't agree to, of course, the 30. I mean, a few, but
Chairman.
we're just trying to be, you know,
And I-
good neighbors. You know, we know she's going through a lot, but
What do you think is a fair parameter for the roosters?
well, no roosters.
No,
You know,
I mean.
chickens
for
maybe
the
3 to
time-
6,
Huh?
but
No, I mean for the time parameters for her
well, I
to
mean,
get rid
it's
of.
been going on for at least 4 months.
Uh,
I mean, so we're just being, you know,
10
calm and
days?
collective with all this. I mean,
It's
we
10
don't know,
days.
we don't want nothing bad to happen to these animals. I
Yeah.
mean, we love animals. Like, I don't want nothing bad, but
What is a good time for you
Yeah.
to have them?
you know,
Yeah.
well, the roosters is the biggest. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know who made complaints, but we've been just going with the flow because we live
So we're trying to
directly
work
next
with
to
you
her.
to saying, what is a fair parameter for you to get rid of?
Okay, so I would have to figure out where they're gonna go because they're not
I
like,
understand all that, but
yeah.
I'm looking for a number.
I'm thinking like, what would be realistic? I guess 30 days, I could have 30 days. They're gonna have to go, they're not the kind that you cut off their head and eat them.
I understand
They're
that.
exotic.
And we
So-
understand that too. Like I said, you guys keep up. It's nothing with smell or anything.
Yeah.
Like we've
They'll
been
just figure out
very,
what I'm gonna do with them.
Yeah, it's just too many.
we've
30
been
is just
very,
too many.
it's the roosters that really, you know,
We
we can't even
understand.
sit up. Like I said, we've been
No.
very with you guys. You guys are great neighbors,
You know,
but
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
when
It's
we
just-
see that sign go up, we're like, oh my God.
Certainly don't think we will.
how many roosters do you have?
Yeah.
I have probably about 8 roosters. They weren't supposed to be roosters. They
And
just
it's noisy.
hatched,
You're right. I
Early
understand.
morning.
They were all incubated. My birds are all incubated. I incubated myself. They weren't just, I stuck eggs underneath the hen, so they were ordered specifically.
So you
And
ready?
how fair is 30 days for you for the roosters?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Like I said, our biggest is of course
Whatever
the
works for her,
roosters. I mean,
whatever it
we,
takes for her to, you know,
Well,
if-
if we granted.
I mean,
30,
I'm
you
hoping
wouldn't
her
be
good
any
luck,
different.
you know, with, you know, she keeps talking about going to the country. That's awesome. That's great for the country.
Yeah.
So
But
to-
we're too close.
So to summarize what you were saying is basically you don't have any complaint about the odor.
No,
or the
no, not at all.
chickens,
They've been
or the
amazing.
chickens. It's just basically the roosters, the only
Correct.
point of contention.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've
Okay.
been
I
wonderful.
just-
Like I don't smell anything. It's just
Okay.
we're outside trying to enjoy. I mean, we're close.
Right.
I mean, we
No, I
directly
understand.
live next to.
It just helps us,
You know, like we don't complain. Like we've always got along. It's
It helps
nothing like
us.
that.
in our decision making.
Right, correct.
Yeah, just not 30.
Yeah, I mean, 30 of course is overdoing it
Okay.
for residential area.
No, we
I
all
can
agree.
see country and,
We all agree with that.
do what you want to do, but.
Okay.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Like, we've been really calm with
feed 'em.
everything, and like I said, I don't know who complained, we've been
No,
just
that's
taking it
fine.
day to day, like with them, and,
It could have been somebody driving by and noticed.
right,
it.
but we got the notice in the mail and seen the sign, so we're like, well, we should definitely show up, like,
Oh, yeah.
don't want no problem, but just,
Say our side.
We
You
do
know.
want to hear, everybody's.
but it's not like she just
Opinion.
showed up and didn't say anything to us, you
Right.
know, like, we knew what was going on, so
Okay,
we
thank
just
you.
went with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Tina Harmon, and I live at 2632 Bleecker, which is 3 doors down. And the only complaint I have is the rooster. I mean, I live 3 doors down from her, and I can keep, my dogs bark, and it's disturbing. The rooster is.
Roosters.
Roosters. I didn't know it was roosters. I thought it was rooster, but yes. I wish
Our
that we would have
concern-
had
our
some
concern
notice.
as
I wish
well.
that we would have had some notice though, because I had no idea I had 30 chickens living in the neighborhood. I wish we would have been made aware of just more than the neighbors next door.
Our concern as well.
Pardon me?
Our concern as well.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, thank you.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, ma'am,
Thank
just before you leave, do you have a problem with if we gave her 30 days to get rid of the roosters?
Pardon me?
Do you have a problem if we granted her 30 days to get rid of?
No,
them?
not at all.
Okay.
I don't want to see anything bad
Yeah.
happen to the, I'm an animal lover too.
Okay.
I don't want her to have to slaughter 8 roosters or anything like that.
Oh, well, she can find a home out.
Thank you.
Ma'am?
My name's Kathleen Fox. I live at 2605 Bleecker. I don't even know. I live on the corner. I've heard the roosters for quite some time now. I didn't know who had them or if they were allowed, but it is annoying when you're outside. I don't have any pets to bark at it. I have nothing against her, but when I heard 30 chickens, I used to live across from a chicken coop, and I know the stench is terrible. I just don't think that that belongs in a neighborhood. And those are just my concerns and why I came. Nothing against the owners. I don't even know her.
Do you have any comments or questions? Oh, that was the first motion that we
That was the
heard.
first 20 minutes or so, yes.
Well, being that you're here, do you have any questions about that? We could maybe. It already passed. But
Well, we
if
can
you could
answer.
still ask your concerns, because maybe we could address, you were worried that they could build back there. They are only permitted to build just as though you would be able to build in your backyard. They would not be able to build another residence there. They could put an outbuilding, a shed or whatever. The same rules that apply to you in your backyard would apply to them in their backyard. But no addition.
It's just an extension of their backyard. No.
No.
The biggest thing's gonna be a shed, maybe, if even that. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Looks as though there's no one else here to speak. The floor is open for a motion.
Well, do we wanna ask her?
Move to close the public hearing.
Move a motion to close the public hearing
I'll second that.
without objection.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, the public hearing is closed. Any discussion?
Okay. hang on.
Yep. We're good.
We're good for that.
Yep, we're good for that. I think Rick was all prepared to
Well, let him.
make
if
the
he's
motion
got it.
unless you want to do
Go
it.
ahead.
All right.
We just, I just want to, do we want to inform the applicant what we're discussing?
We don't have to.
Okay.
I would make a motion for passage of SUE 180 of 2023 with the stipulations that you have 30 days to remove the roosters, and any recommendations from the Architectural Design Committee is enacted into this motion, and I would move for passage.
6 months. 6 months.
Oh, that's already in, the 6 months is already stipulated in there.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
or, and
No,
yet,
it's not.
and your SUE has a, is issued to, what date would that be?
November, December.
It would just be a
January, February,
sunset
March,
of 6
6 months
months
from
from.
today.
April,
6, all right,
April 16th,
all right,
April 17th,
okay. 6 months from today. Okay,
April 17th.
To have all the chickens gone.
all the chickens are gone.
Yeah.
If the first 30 days, the rooster's gone, in 6 months, they're all gone.
Yep.
Is that okay? Okay.
Second.
Mayor Sphirion,
Yes.
Mr. Orvitz,
Yes.
Mr. Olive,
No.
Chairman Winkowski.
Yes. Would the three of you who spoke please sign in? I think there's a sign-up sheet or a sign-in sheet so that we get the names spelled correctly when they do the minutes.
So being that this is an SUE, it still goes before city council for final approval, which means it has to come, and it would be between 30 and 45 days from today. We can figure that out. So it's, what meeting it'll go to. Traditionally, I would say it has a high percentage chance of passing. So I would think you are in pretty good graces right now.
As you had heard from the residents near you though, and I would agree completely. I hear a rooster, I think an eighth of a mile away, And it doesn't bother me because it's right next to me, but if it was, I definitely would. So if whatever you can do to speed things up, we gave you 30 days and it has to go to council also. But just to be nice to your neighbors, if you can find a good home, there's plenty of farmland out that way. I mean, a lot. So just as a courtesy to them. Thank you.
Thank you. There being no further business to come before this committee, I hereby adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.